my loves. Tonight, just after midnight at 12:51 a.m. ET, the sun is moving into Scorpio and we're entering a new season. So let's pull some cards and see what we need to know about this upcoming chapter. So alchemical Scorpio rules intimacy, the process of merging our energies with another person and becoming even more powerful as a result of that. Scorpio asks that we be honest with ourselves about what we need and what we want so that we can be honest with the world around us about what we need and what we want. Scorpio is all about getting what we want. This season is going to ask us to really get focused on what we want to get focused on. If we think about Libra season as being kind of a time where we are creating connections and being social and uncovering what's outside of us for us, Scorpio asks us to focus even more deeply on what is meaningful and what has staying power and what can really help us now moving forward. So what would that look like for you? Let's pull some cards and talk about the energy of this upcoming season. Okay, so we have the moon, death, and the magician. What is standing in between you and your literal highest success in this moment, between you and like living the actual life that you want to live, just like in this moment? We may have felt up until this point like we have been navigating the path as if one step at a time, as if by the light of the moon we can't necessarily see what is on the horizon, but we've kind of known, perhaps that we are moving forward. There's something been pulling us forward, but I think that moving forward into Scorpio season, we're ready to kind of stop and say, you know what? I'm here now. I'm here. This is my one life. We're ready to kind of start living life as if we just know that we are the magicians and the creators of like literally every day. Death is such a powerful card to see for this time. This is the card that's associated with Scorpio in the tarot. And it brings us into a period of transformation that we cannot argue with. We can't argue with death. We can't delay it. We can't tell it to come back in a week. We can't say not now. This is a time to enter fully into the dance of life, enter fully into unbridled self-awareness and take off any blindfold that may have been keeping us feeling uncertain, that may have been standing between us and total clarity around what we just want and like what's stopping us from going and getting it, and just really like step into our power and be like, you know what, I have control over a certain amount of things in this moment, and I'm going to claim my control over those things and trust that when I do what I just need to do, and when I trust that I know what I need to know and that I have all the resources around me to actually create change in accordance with my will, then that is when things can really start to shift. We don't need to be anyone different. We don't need to be anywhere different. We don't need to do anything that doesn't feel authentic to us anymore. We just are being called to like recognize that like we can start now. We can start stepping into our magic and stepping into our power now. And what would that look like for you? Like literally in this moment, like how can you shift even just a little bit more into alignment with your right life in this moment, this hour? How can you start making magic of your life today, this hour? No more delays. No more delays. The universe is moving us forward, and there is so much magic that is coming out of our inner world, and we are ready to bring it out into the outer world now. We are ready to channel divine inspiration and take inspired action by moving around what we have access to here in the here and now, and like create something that's bigger than the sum of its parts. This is a beautifully transformative time, a deeply personal time perhaps for a lot of us. A lot of us are going to be taking dreams that maybe we've had for a long time and letting go of a lot of limiting thinking, letting go of a lot of imposter syndrome thinking, and just saying, okay, the universe like will not let me not do this. What will the universe not let you forget? What will the universe not let you keep doing? What will the universe not let you hang on to? We are shedding a skin, moving forward into totally new, even more powerful expression of ourselves. The light is here. The light that we have been waiting for is literally here. Might be small, but if you have hope, if you have an idea, if you have a sense of who you want to be, if you have a sense of what you want, then the light's here. Then it's here. Then you have everything you need. And there's no excuses. Choose and decide here and now that you're going to go get it. Not by force, but by allowing. Because the universe will not let you play small anymore. Not with death, not with the magician. Even if you're still carrying forward some uncertainty with you, that's okay. That's okay. There's always going to be uncertainty. No matter how much we feel like we have a handle on things, at the end of the day, the universe has the last say. But it's clear to us right now what is a dead end. What is a dead end way of thinking? What is a not generative dynamic anymore? Not generative pattern anymore. Not generative way of moving around our world anymore. The way forward is not back, it's forward. All planets are direct now. 2 months left of the year. You're here now. You're here. Page of Swords. So start speaking like you're here. Start thinking like you're here. What shifts would that require? The Page of Swords is a messenger card, and it brings new ideas, new visions, new ideas of how we can claim our truth, new truths, new concepts, new exciting ideas of what we want to research, what we want to master, how we want to carve out a niche for ourselves, how we want to carve out a life for ourselves. This is a very excited mental energy. And in the energy of death and in the energy of the moon, we can certainly be in our heads, but not necessarily to a generative degree. But the Page of Swords says, yeah, now you can actually turn your thinking towards the good. You can actually harness that mental energy, that mental activity, and actually start thinking about new possibilities. Oh, but what if? Okay, so on one hand, moving through the energy of the moon, we feel afraid of uncertainty. We feel like we're probably going nowhere. But the Page of Swords plays in uncertainty. They say there's so much possible, and that's a beautiful thing because we have a certain degree of control over our words, over our plans, and over our routines. Of course, we need to allow some wiggle room, but we can't cling so close, so tightly to how things just need to go. Of course not in the energy of death, not in the energy of the magician either, because we need to allow that process of alchemy, that process of transmutation of energy to have a life of its own. We want that to happen. We don't want to know exactly what's going to happen in our relationships. We don't want to know exactly what's going to happen in our lives because we want them to surprise us. We want them to be better than we could have ever planned ourselves. We want them to have an expression of their own. We want the universe, the divine, to express itself through our love, through our creative projects, through what we pour our energy into. It's not just us. And thank God, how boring would it be if we were the only ones steering this ship? Marvel at your life. Marvel at how things happen. And maybe there's even some, greater perspectives, some greater understandings around how we can co-create with the universe now, how we can co-create with what is uncertain, how we can co-create with our imagination and our thinking and our minds. Just maybe a newfound respect for, respect for our authority and the authority of other people. Maybe a sense of humility in that as well. Let's pull a Witch's Wisdom Oracle card. For Scorpio season. rooted. May you never tear the living ritual that is magic merged within the roots of your being, the soil of your soul. I love that for Scorpio season. We are often told to start with building intuition, which is undoubtedly true. Never underestimate the power of working with the spirit. You need to learn to ground the spiritual information into your physical life. To be flighty is to connect with the spirit, but to be rooted is to become a channel for spirit. You become a vessel that allows the divine intelligence to spread its wisdom here on earth. A more familiar word is manifestation. Being grounded is about being present and aware of how things make you feel. You have to feel into your body. You're being asked to dig in deeper. Maintaining deep roots is how you'll pull yourself from the darkness. It's easy to get grounded or do your spiritual practice when things are going well. It is an entirely different ballgame when you feel defeated and broken. But the darkest parts of your journey are when you need to be rooted most. The real gift of spiritual commitment is found when you feel like your back is against a wall. Don't give up when times are hard. Instead, find nourishment below the surface. Find your connection to your true self, your ancestors, your guides, your trusts and instincts. Your situation is not so hard that you can give up. It is a call to surrender to your practice. This message is amplified if you pulled ancestors or crystals and herbs. Surrender to your practice and let it do its thing. Trust that there is a method in the madness. Trust the process. I'm wishing you all an absolutely glorious Scorpio season. If you